All right, what up, party people? So I'm filming a little bit of my warm up because um, I had a tripod malfunction in the car and wasn't able to film the drive over here. But just tagging on some warm up stuff. Good old rotator cuff, the cable, classic warm up here. But um, yeah, yesterday was a pretty good lift. Didn't really hit much shoulders, but I have an arm day planned for today. That's what's on the menu. And probably going to stay away from triceps, honestly, just because it might be like a shoulders, biceps day, I guess. Kind of weird, but my triceps are actually pretty freaking sore. And I wonder if it was from the skull crushers. I mean, it probably was, but I wasn't even going that heavy. I was barely doing 60 pounds, but maybe I'm just not used to the movement. It was a pretty good stretch and kind of overhead movement, so not something I was used to. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was it. So for today, what it's looking like is some um, biceps and shoulders, I guess. And yeah, so I'm gonna take you guys along, and I'm thinking of kind of starting with a real heavy kind of meathead, um, just regular bicep curl, classic. Gonna try to go a little bit heavier today with the 45s, but gonna warm up to that point. And yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be anything crazy. I start with that. Gonna probably spam some shoulder presses. I don't know if it's gonna be on the cable or not. Gonna do lateral raises, and yeah, but always warm up your rotator cuff. Doesn't matter if you're just hitting arms or chest or whatever. Rotator cuff warm up, always a good idea. So that's what I usually do. I'm not gonna film all of it. This is kind of just the most simple, internal, external rotation of rotor, and then go from there. So I'll get warmed up and see you guys at the first exercise. All right, all warmed up here. So I'm gonna try to make this my heaviest lift of the day in terms of biceps. So I'm going to hit the 45s on the curl here. So okay. One. Okay. Yeah, now I'm done. Okay. Solid start. 45s. Pretty heavy. Gonna drop 5 pounds here. Gonna go for the 40s. Try to get ideally the same amount of reps here. Okay. I'll probably cheat on that last one. Okay. Okay, moving on. 35s. Let's freaking get after it, man. Come on. Oh, 10. Okay. Whew. Whew. Okay. Feeling that one. Gonna stay with 35s. Don't want to drop lower than that. And then this is probably gonna be the last set of this. It's gonna be 4 sets. I'm gonna transition to probably like a an incline curl or something, maybe a stable hammer curl. We'll see. Let's freaking get it. No. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Good start. And move on to the next movement. Shut the headphones off for this one, and we're gonna do a nice incline curl. Focus on a good deep stretch here. Start with 30s. I have no idea how freaking heavy this is gonna feel, but let's get it. Okay. Oh my gosh. That was good. I feel like I was able to get a decent stretch. Maybe I held myself back on some of them, but I still feel a real good stretch every rep here. So let's try to get after it. This will probably be the last set of this one. Moved on to something else. All right. Oh. This is one of my favorites, so you guys are probably gonna see it often. This is a stable hammer curl. Nice way to use the preacher. Oh man, this might be too heavy, but I don't care. Let's see it. All right, well, my mic died on the last set, so I switched to the other one. Thankfully, I brought both today. And someone left their phone charger, which happens to be the same charger for the mic, so do those to charge pretty much. Just saying. That was my last set of biceps, and moving on to shoulders now. About to hit some lateral raises, starting with the 25s again. Let's get it. Okay, that was like severely cheating. But maybe I wasn't that warm going into it. I don't know, but my left shoulder kind of barked at me a little bit, so we'll see. Probably just sore from yesterday. All right, gonna scale it back with the 20s because I don't want to get injured or anything. I mean, who wants that, right? So let's start with this guy here, 20s. Okay. I'm just gonna do one more set and then move on to a rear delt fly or something. The last set of this guy. Don't think I'm gonna do any shoulder pressing today, just because I hit chest yesterday and I feel like my front delt's already good. Kind of just trying to spam more volume, really. It's the point of these arm days, so they don't have to be too terribly long. I mean, I do like 7 sets of biceps, 3 sets of shoulders in right now with this one, so won't be anything too crazy. Okay. Okay. Man, that one felt great, actually. All right, rear delt fly here. Let's freaking get after it. Okay. Ooh, freaking burn. Okay, next set here. Gotta switch the header on. Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. Drop the weight about 20 pounds here. See if we can get the reps back up. I'm trying to keep my elbows a little bit higher for this one. Ah. Oh. Okay. All right. All right. Probably gonna be the last movement of the day. I said I probably wasn't gonna hit much front delts, but look where we are now. So I'm gonna just do a cable front raise. I rarely do front raises, but I feel like I could use it today. So why frickin' not? Let's see here. Oh, try to get that on the other side, man. I feel like that's gonna be pretty hard. Okay. 10 big ones. All right, well, last set of the frickin' day. Let's finish decimating the shoulders, I guess. Oh. There we go. Okay. I'll do it for today's lift. Whew. Debaucherous, egregious, diabolical, unearthly. Probably all synonyms I would use to describe today's lift. So it was a pretty good one. Very kind of not the normal type of split I guess I would do. I normally would never do biceps and shoulders, but it doesn't really matter what you hit together. At the end of the day, sets per week per muscle group is really what matters. So if you want to do freaking quads and rear delts, more power to you, you know. So today that just happened to be it. I could have taken a rest day today probably, because you know, but I didn't want to because I have the day off from work. I could film a lot more easily today too, and I'm like, man, my biceps could always use extra volume anyway. So tomorrow we are going to continue. I'm thinking tomorrow is going to be a back day. Probably going to cut the biceps out of it. I know biceps can be working indirectly, so I think tomorrow is going to be a back day. Looking forward to a nice lat freaking pump, you know. Maybe legs, depends how I feel. I hit legs on Saturday, so today's Monday, so I guess it'll have been 3 days. So we'll kind of just see what ends up being the most convenient tomorrow. You know, location is very kind of what will determine that. Maybe I'll wake up and come to this gym, wake up a little bit earlier because I have to work tomorrow. I can't remember, or maybe I don't know yet. We'll have to see what tomorrow ends up looking like. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely take advantage of the rest of today. having it off work, I very, very rarely get days like this where I don't work at any of my jobs, and I don't have anything else I need to do. So I don't know. I'm gonna meal prep, that's for sure. Gonna meal prep for the week. Um, my days off, I feel like they still end up being productive, but kind of just relaxing, doing stuff I want to do. I've been reading more often. Um, I don't know, just like stuff on rehab, like muscle rehab, not some psych rehab stuff, but that type of stuff is obviously that's kind of what I work in. So I feel like I'm naturally interested in that. It doesn't necessarily ever feel like I'm reading a textbook, even though 3 of the books I have right now are textbooks, and I'm kind of just reading them like normal books. That's just what's interesting to me. So if you think that's weird, you're a hater. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate everyone tuning in up to this point. Yesterday, I don't think I went over calories, but I might have had a cookie or two. But like I said, at the end of the day, what matters is calories in, calories out, and I used those 2 cookies, the carbs from those 2 cookies, to get a debaucherous, bicep pump today. When I started my lift, I was like, what the heck? I can see forearm veins real popping. I don't know if they came out on camera or not, but they looked pretty sick. So getting more lean, so I'm definitely here for that. I feel like things have been going pretty good. I believe today is day 22 of Project Shredded, so staying on course. I mean, almost like nothing, we're getting pretty close to a month here, and I feel like it's actually been flying by. So I can't believe how quickly this year is flying by. It's today's September, first of the month. Get up and do something, brother. But yeah, man, this year's really gone by fast. So we got exactly 3 months until the New Year's resolutioners come into the gym and last all of 4 or 5 weeks. So be different. Be the guy that locks in right now. And when they come in, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm trying to be like this guy," because you're gonna be absolutely shredded because you're already 12 weeks into your cut. You don't need a resolution to get you there. So, but yeah, 3 months. I mean, it seems like a long time, but also here in the good old Idaho, you guys can see clearly in Idaho. I'm driving past a cornfield right now. That's like 4 minutes from my house. But the here in Idaho, weather has been kind of all over the place. Sometimes it's rainy randomly, and then sometimes it's super hot. So I think we're kind of just getting ready to transition into, the more fall-ish weather, which I'm totally here for. I like summer and all that stuff, but with my work schedules and stuff, I'm never even really able to be outside. So I prefer for it to get a little bit chillier and bring those vibes on. So yeah, this year is almost over. What would you end up doing with your year this year? Kind of what I was thinking. I have pictures. I would say I look quite a bit different than what I did at the beginning of the year, and probably gonna save that for more towards the end of the year. I'm probably gonna reveal the big, before after. But man, I feel like you're able to do a lot in 1 year. I mean, obviously, right? It's a whole year. You can completely change the way you look if that's your main goal. I wouldn't say it's my main goal is to change the way how I look, but more so kind of the health part. A lot of you guys know that I've never been super unhealthy, right? It's not like I'm just 250 pounder, walking around, all the time. But I would say that most of that I am going to school for PT, for to be a physical therapist, and I always tell people, I'll be completely honest, if I went to an out of shape physical therapist or a fat physical therapist, I would just switch doctors. And maybe that's me, maybe it's a little too much like judging on the outside, but like if you don't live what you preach, can you expect people to take you seriously? I've been seeing some stupid stuff online about like fat personal trainers too, and I'm like, dude, what? I don't know. I guess that's a niche for whoever it is that's signing up for training from them. But it's like, yeah, I understand you can have the knowledge, but if you're not living it, then I don't know, kind of just hypocritical in my opinion. So for me, this year was kind of like really just setting myself up because when I am a provider and I am a doctor, the highest level of the profession that I can get, I definitely want to look the part, and I want my patients to be like, damn, this guy lifts, like this, if anyone can help me get back to my sport, it can be this guy. I think there's physical therapists for kind of every niche of people, and obviously not everyone will feel comfortable with every provider, but I don't know, maybe the way I look is going to cater to the specific audience that I want. Now, when it comes to like PT, I don't think I'm going to have a like target population. I understand the concept of, if you try to serve everyone, you're serving no one. So I understand that part too. And I think that, maybe when I actually start my career in that field as a doctor, then I think maybe the niche will kind of just establish itself. But, I don't know. I feel like that's just how it is. Like again, would you guys want a fat personal trainer? Probably not. Would you guys hire a like bodybuilding coach that is out of shape? You know, Probably not. It's like I don't know, like an NFL coach, right? The head coach is kind of almost in charge of, choosing the rest of his staff, but the head coach, they're usually fat in NFL at least. They're not in charge of strength and conditioning. They got a strength and conditioning coach, and those guys are usually pretty freaking yoked, and that's why they're training the best of the best athletes in the entire world because not only do they have the knowledge, but they have the experience, like the hands-on experience of them doing it themselves. So for me, that was kind of my big goal at the beginning of the year is I want to live the life way before I'm in the position of being a doctor because, and again, I've always worked out, but I think this year, at the beginning of this year, I was kind of like, no, but I want you just to look at me and be like, I don't care what this guy does for work. Like, clearly, he's very healthy and all this stuff as well. So it's not so much because I care about what people think about me, but it's because I want to live the life that I've been, studying for so long. So, uh, I think I would say that have had a pretty dang good transformation since the beginning of the year. And once I get to the end of the year, I'm probably going to do the comparisons. But, until we get to that point, I'm going to keep on grinding and we're going to get there. It's been a good few weeks on the cut again. I was cutting for the beginning of the year and then went on maintenance break and now I'm back to cutting. So again, I want to be as lean as I possibly can by the time next year starts. So yeah, but that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate everyone that tunes in. Again, I always say this, but I should probably stop at some point. I'm not doing it for the views, but anyone that decides to watch, it is appreciated. I value the fact that some people are interested enough to watch every single video I post. So that's pretty sick. If you guys can learn anything from me, that's awesome. I don't feel like I know everything in the world, but anything that I kind of can, show someone, I'm always happy to. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, most likely for uh, a back day. But yeah, we're just gonna get in, meal prep, stick to our calories, stick to the calories, and go from there. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.